Hi, I'm Benjamin Chi and I'm the animator director of this short film I'm Soul. It's an conceptual animation which highlights the issues of marketing that causes our exploitation through consumerism. It's about how we are being constantly sold a lifestyle, a dream, a promise that we are suckered into so that we'll buy some advertised products. But the irony behind this is that we are actually aware about the truth that these promises are empty and the dreams will never happen, yet we still subscribe to them. The original idea behind all of this is to ridicule a bad habit like smoking, but the story will keep emphasizing on how smoking is good until it becomes ridiculous. The story at this stage is about a man introducing cigarettes to an alien race, promoting smoking as a cure or a happiness inducing agent, etc., to get them addicted, and then launch an effortless invasion to the aliens' planet. This approach is somewhat similar to the Opium War in 1839, like how the British flooded the Chinese market with opium, causing massive social and political problems, and then started a war and won it without a fight. The story is then condensed into the bizarre interaction of two neighbors. A rich man was unsatisfied with what he had and he wants to upgrade his room with electricity and stuff. So he got the poor man next door to supply fuel with his bloodstream. Later on, when he needs even more upgrades, he just forcibly grabs what's left of the poor man and his family and make them permanent batteries. This development is key to the film, since the two characters that we see later on are birthed off from here. Here that I confirm the film would be somewhat revolving around these two characters. The rich man would later become the salesman, the poor man the farmer, and their interaction with one selling and the other paying with his organs. So with that in mind, I started to improve on the designs of the characters. The salesman's nose become really sharp, like a vulture's beak from the side. And from the front, it's like a dagger hidden inside a seemingly harmless and friendly bag. So he's really dangerous, cruel, very pragmatic. He'll do anything to get to his goal, even though he knows that it's wrong and he has no conscience at all. He's also very bendy like a snake. He's able to elongate and sneak through cracks and stuff, twirl around people to very persistently convince them. On the other hand, the farmer is somewhat squarish, stable. He's a primitive, simple man. He doesn't want much, doesn't care much. He just wants to have a full stomach and a good night's sleep and continue working all year long. So he doesn't really think about the future, about consequences and things like that. He'd be happy if he can get something good to eat, and he doesn't really care what he has to pay with it. In some way, their interaction reflects the way we treat the rivers, the forests, this planet in general. We don't really care what happened to it as long as we get to live our lives as it is, comfortably. As long as we get our fur coats, our cars, our air conditioner running, who cares how big the hole up there is or how much ice is melting today? The major location shift was from the two rooms housing the two neighbors to a small little farm surrounded by a big city in its full neon light glory. The original room where the rich man lived was influenced by the period rooms that I saw in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Very elegant luxury in the mid-18th century American. Then it became more modern with electric light, TV, etc. And while the story was in transition, I also tried making a lab for which the rich man tinkers with the organs he obtained, and a big mansion for him, while the farmer sweating outside. The story was sort of locked down to consumerism soon after I did a composition of the farmer surrounded by big, tall, monolithic buildings of the city, with a salesman peering out of a window with intent. Then I'm interested in seeing the contrast of a small, quiet farm versus the big, busy city, and all the neon lights, the swirling colors of the signboards, and how this stark difference foreshadows the contrast of the two characters. Another key location is the farmer's house. Here, the salesman will persuade him to buy beer by convincing the farmer that he is lonely, and he offers him party buddies and companionship, etc. So, the mood of his house has to communicate a really lonely, solitary, boring mood for the contrast. A major intended outcome of this production is aiming to create a successful piece of character animation that pays attention to the aspects of timing, weight, acting, based in a narrative framework surrounding the interactions of two contrasting characters. In fact, the production itself is heavily emphasized on character animation, so there was a lot of prep work going on in making sure the animation worked. While there was no initial plan to include any dialogue, but this pencil test revealed the vast potential that dialogue could inject into the film. How the salesman talks so fast that sometimes it just becomes gibberish and incomprehensible noise. It reflects the energy from which he sells and persuades. So, deciding that dialogue would now become an integral part that carries the film, I wrote a basic script and got performing arts grad Chris Jensen to do the voice acting. Basically, I just explained the personality of the salesman, the situation, gave him the script, and asked him to improvise heavily on the fly.
That's right, you don't want to be lonely, you want to be happy, dancing around the room with joy and smiles on your face. So get out there and join the fun. Whoa! Not just yet, son. You slow down those horses. You're a bit too excited, aren't you? I can tell. That's all right. All you need to do is just one thing, just one little thing, and you can get out there and have all the fun you've ever dreamed of.
What happens next is I composite the voice, most of the time sped up, with the storyboard, figure out the timing, then act it out to get a feel of the movement.
That's right, you don't want to be lonely, you want to be happy, dancing around the room with joy and smiles on your face. So get out there and enjoy the fun. Whoa! Not just yet, son. You slow down those horses. You're a bit too excited, aren't you? I can tell. That's right. All you need to do is just one thing, just one little thing, and you can get out there and have all the fun you've ever dreamed of. Just one thing.
Then I thumbnail some key poses, find something that's strong to reinforce what he's saying. So this is where the pencil test I done earlier actually helps a lot, although not all of them reappear in the final film, but the test established an attitude, a way of movement that the characters will undertake, and all I need to do now is refine it.
Not just yet, son. You slow down those horses. You're a bit too excited, aren't you? I can tell. That's right. All you need to do is just one thing, just one little thing, and you can get out there and have all the fun you've ever dreamed of. Just one thing.
So that's it, the process of making this short film. Thanks for watching.